Today, we welcome SAPOL Executive Membership, Mr Wade Burns, President of the South Australian Police Association, Mr Tony Code, Secretary of the South Australian Police Association, distinguished retired members, members of the Police Historical Society, and everyone else, very special guests here today for this ceremony. Today we gather to honour the life and the sacrifice of Senior Constable David Thomas Hill Barr, BM. This year, importantly, signifies the 35th anniversary of his death, which occurred on the 26th of July 1990. As you would be aware, we had an event earlier in the year that was very closely aligned with that date, but due to an extreme weather event, we had to cancel it. So we've gone the other way now, we've got a hot day. So I thank you all for bearing with me. We're also very favoured here today to have many retired members here, and a few of our currently serving members, myself, Darren McHugh, Rob Shadell, and quite a few others who served with David Barr at the time of his death. In recent conversations leading into today's ceremony, we all remember where we were when we heard the news that Dave had been killed in the line of duty. Senior Constable David Barr was a dedicated member of the South Australian police family who tragically lost his life in the line of duty. We're here to recognise the courage, the commitment and the example he set for us all. Such was his courage that he was awarded the Australian Bravery Medal in 1991 posthumously for his actions on the day of his death. As most here would be aware, every day frontline police prepare for their tour of duty, get into their uniform, knowing that there will be risk and danger to be faced. And whether it was responding to a call for help, or responding to a crisis, or standing as a symbol of authority and compassion, Dave did so with professionalism, strength and heart. I will now recount to you the events of that fateful day on Thursday the 26th of July 1990, when Senior Constable Barr paid the ultimate sacrifice and was killed in the line of duty. This is told through the eyes of then Constable Jamie Lucock, who was David's partner on that day. Jamie unfortunately couldn't attend today, he's interstate and commencing a fruitful retirement from SAPOL. We are fortunate to have his daughter here, Jessie, to hear this account, and I thank her for attending. So in the words of Constable Jamie Lucock, this was the day. Thursday the 26th of July 1990 was a crisp, clear and mostly sunny day. It started off like any normal general patrol day. I was young, life was good, and I've been working with Dave Barr for the past few months as a patrol partner. As was it back in those days, you generally work with a patrol partner for extended periods of time, sometimes up to a couple of years. He was an excellent patrol officer, an easygoing bloke, a good sense of humour and a great family man. Dave had a couple of nicknames that some will be familiar with. One in particular was from his Army Reserves mates as Sir Les, and that was after the Barry Humphries character Sir Les Patterson. So some of the younger folk here might need to Google that to understand the relevance of that, and some of the mature age members will completely understand what we're talking about. But the Sir Les character had a dishevelled appearance, shirt tails hanging out, the tie was always on crooked, and I think we all know someone in a job like that. Our team at Para Hills was extremely close-knit. We worked hard, we socialised together, we played hard, and there were actually 5 days on that team at Para Hills, and that time Para Hills was part of the division of the Elizabeth Division. So, there was Dave Balnaves, who was a sergeant. There was, of course, Dave Barr, Sir Les. Dave Wright, known as Big Davey. There's a theme developing here. Dave Sinclair, Stumpy. And Dave Roberts, who missed out that, and he was just plain Dave. Dave's wife, Gwenda, may she rest in peace, had made Dave's lunch that morning, and we called into their place at Salisbury Heights to pick it up. I recall it was just sandwiches wrapped in alfoil and an apple. Just as we were leaving Dave's house, at about 9 o'clock, the call came through of a man threatening a woman at the Salisbury bus and train interchange, John Street, Salisbury, and we responded immediately. On arrival, I saw the offender Fry. Fry was a big man. I was 6'4", and he was over 6 foot. Very heavy set, big broad shoulders, moderately overweight, and he pulled out a knife. I really thought he would drop that knife on my demand, but he didn't. And even when I struck him across the back and the shoulders with my baton, as he attempted to flee from the bus, I thought he would stop and drop the knife. We had what I called a bit of a sword fight, Fry with a knife and me with a baton, but I still thought he would stop and put the knife down. I remember seeing Dave run up from behind Fry, but it's funny how your mind plays tricks on you or hides things from you. Right up to this day, there are some few seconds that I just can't find in my memory. It was when Fry turned and confronted Dave, and how he managed to get Dave into a position to be able to plunge the knife into Dave's chest. I just can't find that memory, but I know Dave had his lunch, which was sandwiches wrapped in alfoil and an apple. I remember the clatter as Dave's PR24 baton fell to the pavement, as some of the older crew, probably listening today, would recognise what that sound was like. I didn't know where the knife was, and even when I struck Fry again with my baton in desperation, I thought he would just drop like a sack of spuds. There was this smile on Fry's face as he turned towards me, and it just remains so vivid even now. Dave was still standing as I ran after Fry, who took off. He was heading towards a stationary train. I drew my firearm. I was juggling my radio, my baton, my firearm, and trying to give sit rep to the communications branch, calling 801, police in trouble. The train carriage was full of school kids, and their teachers were on an excursion from Gawler to the city. I reholstered my firearm. I was yelling at the passengers to get off the train. I confronted Fry again, baton in hand. I was looking behind me at the carriage door, through the windows to the platform, thinking, where the hell is Dave? He should be right behind me. I was thinking, was he hurt? Fry was just smiling and smirking, and his knife still pointed towards me. Senior Constable Barr poked his face around the carriage door. I said to Murray, where's Dave? I don't know where Dave is. Murray didn't know. I changed tack with Fry, and I started to lower my voice and provided some calm and convinced Fry to put the knife down. I moved in and arrested him immediately, taking possession of a blood-stained knife and securing it in my accoutrement belt. The cavalry had arrived. I know they would have been coming with lights and sirens for my 801 call, but I can't recall hearing any sirens though. I think this was the tunnel vision of my senses that encompasses you when you're in an extreme focus situation and an intense environment. Upon arresting Fry, he continued to fight. You're not putting those fucking things on me, meaning the handcuffs. However, 6+ coppers convinced him otherwise. I remember vividly Detective Jeff Cardwell standing at the back of the cage car. Hunched inside was Fry, looking quite worse than wear from the fight we'd had, and he was reading him his arrest rights. I found Dave in the hands of the ambulance officers a short time later. He was lying on his back, near to where I'd last seen him standing. They had cut open his jumper and his shirt, and was exposing a wound to the centre of his chest that was weeping blood. He was in pain, I could see that. He was so pale. I was thinking, shit, punctured lung, but he'll be okay. I said to him, you'll be right, Dave, we'll see you at the hospital. My sergeant arrived and took my accoutrement belt and secured the knife as evidence. We headed off to the EPS, the Elizabeth Police Station, where I started my statement. It'd been a good couple of hours and there still hadn't been any word about Dave. I was hoping the wound wasn't going to be too serious. I was hoping maybe a punctured lung. He'd be crooked, I thought for a while, but he's going to pull through. Shortly after that, in the typing room, the police psychologist Ray Dowd arrived and sat next to me at the desk, and he told me that David died on the operating table. He told me that the surgeons had worked on him for a solid 2 hours, trying everything, even pumping his heart with their hands. The knife had punctured 2 chambers of his heart. I was told that even if there'd been a retrieval team on standby at the train station at the time, no one could have saved him. At that time, I broke down and cried. I sat at the computer and finished my statement. I remember every time I typed Dave's name, I typed as Senior Constable David Barr as a mark of my respect to him. So many lives were shattered on that day. Gwenda, his wife, their 2 daughters, Sarah and Nicola, his parents, immediate family, friends, and of course, police colleagues. The police community and the South Australian community threw their arms around us in support, even though they too had to come to terms with that tragic loss of the life of a police officer. I'm not sure if it was a good thing or a bad thing, but I jumped straight back on the horse, so to speak. I commenced night shift just a week after Dave's death and 2 days after his funeral. I remember quite clearly that the playing of the last post at his funeral made me gasp out loud. So Team 2 Para Hills was shattered from that particular day, and it was never the same. Although we all intrinsically linked, slowly some members moved on, including myself. I went to Mount Gambier Police Station in early 1991. After things had started to fall apart around me, and it all caught up with me, and I fell in a pretty big heap. I was in Mount Gambier in late 1991, and the OC of Mount Gambier Police Station, or Region G as it was known then, Superintendent Paul Garrett, announced that the afternoon shift prayed that I had been awarded the Australian Bravery Medal for my actions, and that David Barr would be recognised posthumously with that same award. In a phone call to my dad later, I said, "I'd rather not be told that I'm a hero, Dad. I'd rather Dave still be here with us now." Dad said to me, and I remember this so very well now, "Son, your clear, level-headed actions on that day showed your true character. Dave can't be brought back, but you can both be deservedly recognised for the bravery you displayed and the ultimate sacrifice that Dave made. I'm so very proud of you, son." Those words have always remained with me. Moving on, it took me a long time to accept that even someone holding a kitchen knife whilst cutting up some veggies at the kitchen bench and inadvertently pointing it towards me should not be a trigger for those memories of that day, but it still does catch me out. There have not been too many days that have gone by that I have not thought of Dave in some way, even after 35 years. For a good long while, there was a fire raging in my head of the whys and the wheres and the what ifs of that day. But with good psychological help, good friends, good family, I've learned to tame that fire now, and it's no longer a threat to me. Fry died in his prison cell from a diabetic complication about 15 years ago now, after he was convicted of the murder of David Barr and sentenced to life imprisonment and a non-parole period of 30 years. Just about every morning when I come to work at police headquarters, I walk past Dave's memorial plaque on the remembrance wall, and I always say, "Morning, Dave." After 44 years of serving as a proud South Australian police officer, I am now recently retired, and a lot of water's passed under the Saypole and the Jamie Lucock personal bridge, but Sir Les is always in the mix there somewhere. I thank you all for listening. Rest in peace, Senior Constable David Thomas Hill Barr, BM. It's easy to see the blue uniform, to see the badge, and to think of police officers as symbols of strength and authority, but what is often forgotten is the individual behind that badge. The individual who leaves a family every day, who faces operational challenges, danger, adversity, with resilience and a sense of duty that all police hold in themselves. That person who builds a life of service and a job that demands so much from it. Whilst policing has changed over the decades, as we all know, becoming more complex, the inherent risk, danger has not. For that has never changed, and nor will it, because that is policing at the front line. We remember the sacrifices Dave Barr made, the risks taken, and the values upheld throughout his career. At the time, Salus Populi Suprema Lex, the safety of the people is the highest law, was the motto or credo of SAPOL at that time. We have a current credo of safer communities now, but comparing those two mottos or credos, you can see the pith, the substance and the sentiment of what we do as police in our community has not changed regardless of time past. Dave's legacy will continue to inspire us, and although Dave may no longer walk amongst us, his spirit remains part of our policing community in the Northern District and for the South Australian Police. His commitment to making the community safe and his courage in the face of danger continues to guide us, reminding us that strength also comes from all of us standing together in the Blue family. Rest in peace, David Thomas Hill Barr. Thank you. I would now ask Reverend Josh to come forward to deliver the blessing and prayer. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If we've not met, my name is Josh Shearer. I'm a Minister in Placement in the United Church and also the chaplain at the Elizabeth Police Station. Today we pause with deep regret and with deep respect to mark 35 years since the death of Senior Constable Barr. On that day, as we've just heard, in 1990, Dave responded to this call, as so many of you do. And he responded with courage, with professionalism, and a willingness to step towards danger to protect someone else. And in doing so, he paid the ultimate sacrifice. Dave was a husband, a father, a colleague and a mate. His partner that day, as we've heard, Constable Jamie Lucock, showed remarkable bravery too. As we've heard, both were awarded the Australian Bravery Medal, but no medal ever replaces the presence of a loved one at the dinner table, or the long shadow that loss can cast in our lives. Policing is full of unknowns, you know that. Most people will never truly appreciate, and fewer still will ever truly understand, what's asked of those who wear the uniform in this state or anywhere else in the world. The decisions made under pressure, the weight that's carried towards home, the risks that come with every shift, and yet you show up. You keep showing up. And that deserves our gratitude. Many of you that know me know I served in SAPOL for 5 years prior to my time in the ministry. I know something of what we've discussed here today, something of the weight. And now as a police chaplain, I count it a privilege to walk alongside you as members, not just in moments like this, but in everyday challenges, stresses, and the quiet acts of service that you do every day that will never make the headlines. I often find myself returning to words that have brought comfort to many, including those who've served on the front lines. There's an ancient poem in the Bible that some of you know, many of you would have heard, Psalm 23. that talks about walking through the darkest of valleys. It doesn't pretend that darkness isn't real. We know that that is not the case. But it holds to the hope that we don't walk alone, that comfort, strength, and even peace can be found in the middle of grief and uncertainty. And beyond faith, it reminds us of something we can all relate to, the power of community, of showing up for one another, of remembering that none of us are meant to carry heavy things alone. And that's what today is. Whether you're running, whether you're walking, or whether you're just here to stand in respectful silence and honour the memory of an incredible man who gave an incredible price. You're part of a community that refuses to forget, that honours the cost, that remembers the name. Today's family, and to all families who carry the weight of loss in service, we offer our deepest gratitude and our deepest care. And to our policing family, sworn and unsworn, retired and still serving, may you be strengthened today. You are not alone. Can I lead you in a prayer? Loving God, we give thanks today for the life and service of Senior Constable David Barr. We honour his courage and we remember his sacrifice with deep respect. We pray for his family, for enduring comfort, strength and peace. We give thanks for all who serve in our police family, sworn and unsworn. And we ask for your protection over them as they carry out their duties. For those who carry invisible burdens, may they know they are not alone. And for this community gathered here, may we step forward with courage, with compassion, and with a renewed commitment to stand with one another. In your name we pray. Amen. Lest we forget.
Thank you, Josh, for that. Ladies and gentlemen, in a moment, the band of the South Australian Police Bugler will perform the requiescence. I would ask those who can stand and uniformed staff to salute. After the requiescence, the salute is completed and we hold for 1 minute silence. Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. I thank everyone for attending today's memorial ceremony. It's greatly appreciated from the Northern District and from a personal point of view from those who served with Dave and within the blue ranks of SAPOL. In about 20 minutes, we are going to start the Dave Barr Memorial 5 kilometre run walk, which will commence just over here. There will also be a barbecue provided in a moment from the Police Credit Union from Glenn. Glenn, you're a legend. Thank you very much. So, as part of supporting for Police Legacy here today, most would have probably paid online. There's also a point of sale application you can use for making your $10 donation to Legacy for the barbecue, and all those monies go for extremely worthwhile and beneficial causes for our police family in many, many wide areas and ranges. That will be cooked shortly, so once you've done part of your run, or if you're staying back, just grab a drink, get comfortable, enjoy the banter, catching up with old mates or whatever else, and enjoy that. I do wish to thank Glenn from the Police Credit Union. Amazing support has been provided for us, greatly appreciated. SA Police Legacy, Jodie Lee at the back there. Jodes, thank you so much. Always connected to this fantastic cause. The band of the South Australian Police, once again, an amazing effort. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming out today. And it'd be remiss if I didn't also say to our Northern District team who's assisted me in making this event possible, my sincere gratitude and thanks. It couldn't have happened without that effort of us pulling together and being here early twice to get everything organised and enjoy the day and take the time to pay respect to a fallen brother. Thank you everyone. Please enjoy the festivities, drinks, help yourself, talk. It's been an absolute pleasure providing the opportunity for us to have this reflection today. Thank you very much.
Go for about 500-600 metres, then you go off onto a trail, back onto dirt, bit of trail. If anyone gets lost, we have a heap of saris here as field search coordinators, so we can go.
That'll be a hard one, 5Ks to figure it out like that.
Yeah, no, that's commitment to wander along.
Yeah? Well done. My goodness.